We have a special guest to introduce, and if his name sounds familiar when I say it, it's because his term, Ecological Footprint, he's the reason it's a household term, and we'd like to welcome Dr. Bill Rees to the set.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for taking the time to visit our little show here. And I'm not prone to hyperbole, but I want to ask you a serious question. Should Stephen Harper be behind bars?
Well, that's a serious question because there's a serious answer. If this were a global village and we were applying the kinds of laws that we have in Canada, he would be held accountable by those laws, and we might want to think of charging him with at least negligence under the common law and perhaps even criminal negligence, the way we're behaving on the world stage.
Erica, you had another question.
Yeah, well, you talk, how do we hold him accountable? How would I, as a regular citizen, is it protesting, is it letters?
Well, I mean, all we have at our disposal now is to make it known that we're not happy with the way he's representing us. I mean, here's the basic argument. We know that climate change is a fact, despite the denialist movement funded by the corporate sector. Climate change is occurring. We know that it's causing death and destruction to tens of thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands of people around the world. We know that there's a direct connection between human activity in the form of increasing greenhouse gases and the rate at which the climate is changing. Humans are having a marginal effect on climate. Most of the climate is caused by other factors, but nothing has changed in those other factors that can explain the warming that we've experienced. It's 0.8 of a degree in the last 100 years. The rate is increasing. It's now at about 0.2 degrees per decade. So it's underway. There's a direct causal linkage between human activity and that climate change, and it's causing damage to other people. Canadians and Americans and other countries that have very high ecological footprints, half of our footprint is our carbon footprint. So we are major contributors to the rising greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide. By refusing to be responsible for that, we're simply denying our culpability in creating the very circumstances that are now doing damage to people. And if we were in a global village where such things as the criminal code that applies in Canada were to apply, we would have to listen to this logic. It says so right here. Everyone is criminally negligent who, in doing anything or in omitting to do anything that it is a duty to do, shows wanton or reckless disregard for the lives or safety of other persons. So we have a government which on our behalves is refusing to take responsibility for actions which are arguably responsible for wanton and reckless disregard for the lives and safety of other people. As a Canadian, I'm not satisfied that that's the case.
It's one of those times I wish we had much more time. We should have extended the time. But we want to thank you for coming on our show and visiting. We'll put more information up on the Facebook wall regarding what we're talking about. Time for another break. Just ahead, we'll meet a man on a mission. Follow us on Twitter, join our Facebook group, and look for the City News List. Thank you, Dr. Rees, for coming down.
Thank you very much.